Pratt Studios presents Parker Reads a Thing. U.S. Air Power. Written by Bill Yennick. Read to you by Parker Snyder. They say it's faster than a speeding bullet, and that's literally true. After more than 2 decades of service, the Lockheed Blackbird is still the fastest airplane in the world. The X-15 was probably faster, but it hasn't flown in 20 years, and it couldn't even take off by itself. Though the Blackbird has held the world's absolute speed record of 2,193.167 miles per hour for over a decade, its actual top speed is much faster. How fast? It's top secret, but the SR-71 aircrews all wear patches that say Mach 3 plus, and the emphasis is always on the plus. When you mention 4,000 miles per hour around these same crews, they are usually a lot of knowing chuckles. At a briefing given by the 9th Strategic Reconnaissance Wing, which manages all the Blackbirds for the Air Force, a spokesperson was asked what they would do if someone, heaven forbid, ever took the speed record away from the SR-71. Quote, "We'd just take up one of our birds and step down a little harder on the accelerator." The Blackbird evolved from a Mach 3 interceptor, which had itself evolved from a CIA spy plane developed in the early 1960s. The mysterious Model A-12 reconnaissance airplane first flew in 1962, also a product of Lockheed's Skunk Works. In the meantime, Skunk Works boss Kelly Johnson had suggested that the Air Force might want to take a look at a Mach 3 interceptor version for its Air Defense Command. The Air Defense brass came, looked, and bought. The YF-12 Interceptor was the fastest such airplane ever flown, before or since. It could catch any enemy aircraft almost without regard for how much of a head start the other guy had. The YF-12 could cruise comfortably at 3 times the speed of sound, and literally outrun bullets. The Strategic Air Command looked at the ADC's wonderful new bird and decided that it was exactly what they needed as a new reconnaissance strike airplane, and they ordered some under the designation RS-71. By the time SAC's airplane flew in 1964, reconnaissance was its sole function, and so its designation was transposed to SR-71 for strategic reconnaissance. The rest is history. The YF-12 subsequently went into mothballs because the Secretary of Defense thought that the Soviets didn't have any bombers fast enough to pose any real challenge to it. And so, the A-12's role was assumed by the SR-71. It's a stunning airplane, from its design and its engineering to the fuel that it burns in its engines. The Blackbird is like no other. The materials used in the construction of these airplanes were experimental at the time, and the overall design and shape of the fuselage, which provides most of the lift, were engineering breakthroughs. The turbo ramjet engines designed specifically for these planes by Pratt & Whitney are also unique. For sustained speeds of about Mach 3, they had to be. The SR-71 is the only airplane in the world known to burn JP-7 fuel, a concoction so non-volatile that you can't light it with a match. It takes a chemical reaction to get the engine started. From different angles, the Blackbird looks like 3 different spacecraft. From the side, the SR-71 is an arrow. From the top, the SR-71 is a hybrid pterodactyl. And from the front, the SR-71 is 3 flying saucers in a row. The crew arrives at the Blackbird in the same sort of flight suits worn by space shuttle astronauts. There are 2 crew members, one who flies the bird and another who operates the cameras, sensors, and reconnaissance hardware. This equipment is secreted behind removable panels that are spread across the belly of the Blackbird. The exact nature of what is inside is secret, and the data collected does not go beyond the closed doors of the national security establishment. The heavy lids that secure the 2 cockpits are cranked down. The JP-7 is ignited, and the SR-71 shrieks down the runway. The Blackbird rolls out horizontally, but takes off almost vertically and is out of sight in less time than it takes to tell about it. Where will the SR-71 go? They'll never tell. The Blackbird could go all the way to Nicaragua and be back for lunch. The patrols of the Blackbird are secret, but skies over Cuba and Nicaragua are familiar to its crews. And there are stories of it running supersonic air-to-air missiles over North Korea and of cat-and-mouse games with MiGs in Vladivostok. The Blackbird is, as they say, high 90s technology that we were just lucky to have in the 1960s. We're lucky to have the SR-71 now, and we'll be lucky to have it in the high 90s as well. By then it will be fading, but not forgotten, and in the process of being replaced, we don't know what its successor will be, but we do know that it will have to be an amazing bird of high 21st century technology. The Lockheed SR-71 Blackbird has a wingspan of 55 feet 7 inches, a length of 107 feet 5 inches, a height of 18 feet 6 inches, and is powered by the two custom-made Pratt & Whitney J58 turbo ramjet engines that produce 32,500 pounds of thrust. Its cruising speed is Mach 2.5 plus, top speed is Mach 3.5 plus, and the maximum range is over 3,250 miles. The Lockheed Martin SR-71 Blackbird.